Hello, welcome to a return to Let's Play Morrowind. And we've just exited, or started to exit Seydanine. Something I am going to do is, with it being 1am, let's do like a 7-hour wait. I'm not sure how limited time is on these games and how important it is that are certain people out at certain times, or is it less strict like that? Is that a system that comes from Oblivion? I'm not sure, in all honesty. So I just want to have a quick nose around to see we're not missing something, but it appears not. By the way, when you do a wait like this, obviously resting here is illegal. You'll need to find a bed. Illegal resting. I think one of the interesting things about that sort of system is it implies... I didn't know it was illegal to rest there. That's interesting. I must have just been outside the town boundaries. Did not know that was a system. Yeah, me too. The interesting thing about that as a thing is I think it can be read as your character just standing, staring off into the middle distance, waiting literally for hours and on end. But I always like to characterize it in my head as being, don't whistle at me, as being, they're actually going around doing things. You know, they might go to a shop, they might I don't know, like go and sit on a bench, read a book. They're doing things. They're not just waiting there. And then just as they get back on the spot after 6 hours, and when you retake control, that's when the game goes again. It's something you'll probably find as like a common way I like to play games and interact with them. By the way, we're walking to Balmora, is it? If I can remember the buttons. Seydanine. Okay, cool. Is that I like to narrativize like aspects of the game and systems, especially if the game doesn't do that work itself. I like to input my own bits of story that make sense of it all. Because hey, it's fun, you know. I play games like this to make my own stories, so that's what we're going to do. I love this, following road signs. It's such a cool way to interact with games. And it's funny that design is only just sort of half caught up with it. If you think... I just saw something move in the distance, so we're gonna pop a save. If you think about Breath of the Wild and how that game, one of the way it succeeds is by removing... Oh, we're hitting everything today. Nice. One of the ways it succeeds is by removing some of the... I'm not going to call them hand-holdy measures, but the way the game makes some of the interactions more smooth, streamlined. So you think quest markers and, you sometimes even get games where you get a line just going down the road. Right, here you go, this is the way to go. Whereas this game, there's no fast travel. I'm going to explore in here. That's what we're here to do, isn't it? We can definitely come up against some things which will kill us in this game. So we do this at our own risk. Ancestral Tomb, I think this will have... I'm getting more memories of this game back as I play, but I think this will have... I should just number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but here we go. I can't remember what I'm saying now. Something about memories of this. Yeah, I'm getting these memories back from playing the game anyway. We're going to steal this guy's stuff, because we need some stuff to sell. Expensive, extravagant pants. I want to see what extravagant pants are. Oh, this is a game that has a armor... Yeah, that's a ghost. That's a ghost. Can we rob anything else while we're here? Some bits of bones. Shrine. Bone meal. Oh yeah, that's combat. That's the combat noise. We gonna run. This, like Oblivion, actually. Oblivion does have the same system. You can only hit ghosts with silver or magic. Oh, that was it. I remember now. Now we'll come outside. Yeah, so, games of this era, never... Those systems became fashionable. they became sort of common, especially as time has gone on, as a way of making. Oh, I don't know if we can take that on, but we shall try. Of making a game. So it's interesting that like this game, something it does is not having those systems in, and something that Zelda did that made it successful is it's not emulating it, but it's doing it's working in the same space. We're going to get absolutely destroyed here, I can just see it. We're hitting good today. The classic, I've drawn one too many arrows. I can't even pick it up off the floor. A guar. Oh, that was pointless. I don't even have anything good on it. I'm still having to like get around to where I've got my menu button. There's conditions in this game as well, which doesn't surprise me. We had an iron one, didn't we, which was better. Yeah. So yeah, I find it interesting that there's sort of a callback going on to an older series of games that's happening with more modern games that are hugely successful. I mean, is this a town? This isn't Balmora. Is it Balmora? Balmora. But I do remember this town. This is Pelagrad. Pelagiad? Let's go here. I mean, we're on the way. We've gathered a couple of things, so we can perhaps do some sailing. Hello, Dralus.
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick.
Sultanheim. That's the DLC one, isn't it? What's your question, stranger? Pelagad. What's here? The Empire built a little fort here to guard the roads between Vivec, Seydanine, and Balmora, and points north. And then some veterans took their mustering out pay and built themselves a little farms here. And pretty soon there's a few shops and a trade house. It's a pleasant little village. If you didn't know better, you'd think you were in Daggerfall or some other high rock town. Interesting. He's a barbarian. Guards keep the peace. Any rumours? The Legion of Nesis is orcs mostly, but word is they're recruiting for anyone over there. Advice. Not much work here, but there is in Aldaroon and Balmora there is the Fighter Skills and Mages Guild. Or Vivec. I have been to Vivec before. If you think of travelling up country near Sheergorad or out Molag Amur way or inside the Ghost Fence, you need to know about Corporus. It's a disease that turns normal creatures into beasts, turns men into twisted, mad lumps of flesh, superhumanly strong and full of hatred. You get Corporus from fighting with diseased creatures. It's hard to get Corporus, but harder to get rid of it. In fact, I hear there's no cure. Well, be careful to not catch diseases. I find it interesting that that's like one of the diseases is, and I forgot about this, but it's something that this game chooses to simulate. Because I remember that there's a few that you get cure common diseases in Oblivion, which I don't think exists in Skyrim. Apart from you can get like become a vampire and become a werewolf. Is that advice? That's secret. We've done that. Trade. What do barbarians do? He likes the wilderness, know how to live comfortably off the land. I know the various creatures of the wild, how to hunt them, what bits are good to eat, and bits the city folk will pay for. That's interesting, because barbarians are often categorised as being quite... I don't know, actually. I can't think of like a narrative of barbarians, but that's very much like a wilderness style one. Services. He's a trader. Cool. I'm not going to read absolutely everything, but I do want to get a general gist of these people. Halfway Tavern. It's a good name for a tavern halfway between Seydanine and Balmora. He looks like a man with a quest. Doesn't speak good old elf. And then speaks perfectly after. It's cool just to click on it and sort of go through it.
Help I will, but don't take too much time.
Just trying to figure out what's going on with that chest thing. Oh. I'll be happy to help, stranger. I am Samir. People are fairly friendly here in Pelagiad? Giad? I don't know. We don't mind answering a few questions. Sorcerer, the cult. And how do you think it was the bloated imperial plutocrats got the charter to exploit the Caldera ebony deposits and not a native great house or local colonist? Big fat bribes, I tell you, and friends in high places. Local colonist. Interesting. How do you recognise the Daedric Shrine? Well, they've got long, funny names like Ash. I'm not going to attempt that. Some are well-known sites, and stone architecture is unmistakable. All inside in funny angles. Yeah, there's not too much information. First change of like types of speech for different creatures. It's a monk. Alright. Doesn't seem to be much of what's good here. But isn't this the inn with...
What's this about?
Nothing. Hello. We're going to turn around and not bother you. There's definitely... I think it's around here with a scamp that will buy like anything off you. Scamp is a very good enemy name. Especially like... I don't know if it has the same connotations elsewhere, but scamp, like in like to British people, it's like scampish, impish. It definitely works well with them. This is a supply shop. It's a shit and short bow and a bone mold shield. Kind of don't want to go upstairs without his permission. Armor shop. Guard. Guard tower. I kind of want to. I want to see who's in the castle. You usually want to go and speak to the most important person. I want to know what that symbol is. I didn't realise that popped up in Morrowind. Let's just kind of zoom through these and see what they've got to say. Part of the Imperial Legion? Let's ask about that. I mean, like, technically, I know, like, Imperial is drawing back to Rome and things like that, but Imperial Legion just does not sound like a good thing. A smith. Nah, there's nothing of interest here. I feel like these buildings as well, like, I'm sort of half intruding here. There's no, like, yeah, like, what am I doing in this dude's room? That's not good. Let's leave. Let's make some headway on our main quest and start going to Balmora. There doesn't seem to be much here for us. In fact, the one thing I will do before I go is I did collect a tiny bit of loot. What's that in Balmora, actually? We're more likely... I think if I remember rightly, if you sell stuff to people, they become a bit more positive around you. And Balmora, with it being a bit more of a central town, I believe we are more likely to be there. Some of what I just said could be absolutely rubbish, by the way. But it's sort of an ifs. Caldera and Balmora. Let's start going. We'll have another quick save. And we'll continue on our journey. I do like the music for this game. It's rather pleasant. Wouldn't exactly jam out to it in my own time, but yeah, I might actually. I find game music operates in a space far more to do with... that's back where we came from. Operates a lot more in spaces to do with nostalgia for me. So I'll go back and listen to some game music because I want to think and feel like I'm in that space again. It's not necessarily something I personally take on its own merit, even though it does have merit. I'm not saying it's without. And especially if you look at some game series like Supergiant Games and all the music by Ashley Barrett and Darren Korb, like that is core to the actual game and is music I've listened to away from it. So I'm not saying it's a rule, but like stuff like this more ambient style music, I do think it's very, very, very good. And I am just going to explore everywhere because that's a way to nick some stuff and get into some trouble and fights. But for some reason, it's just not. It doesn't take up that space in my life of choosing to listen to just that. I mean, this looks like a poorly equipped person. We leveled up. We are taking more damage than we're doing. Oh, it's time to run. This stuff is so cheesy. I think... Oh, no. You are... Oh, we can't do that. I'll tell you something we are getting off this. We're not a million miles away from doing this fight. And this isn't something I normally like to do in games. Oh! Oh, God. We can't take that. We can't. We need to be able to try and run if we can. This is a DLC thing as well. It's an assassin who is a much higher level than this, and this DLC is actually something you're meant to be doing at a higher level. It's something I remember from playing last time. How close are we? Oh no. My plan here is to try and get to Pelagiad without dying. Because hopefully the town guard won't approve of us being attacked by an assassin and will help us. But it looks like that plan is going to be a failure. Yeah. To be honest, it's not actually a bad thing to be attacked by that, the assassin. Let's try this autosave to just put us straight back into that fight. Because they have... Okay, kit. Wonder what happens. Is it a percentage chance or is it locked in? It's a percentage chance. I'm going to dip. This isn't for us right now. This is something to do later. I was thinking about like continuing the fight with her, just with the dagger, but it feels a bit weird to get that grindy this soon, and you gotta know when to take your fights and when to leave them. So the aim is sort of to get to Balmora and do a bit of the story quests and perhaps find ourselves into some of the guilds, and see who else has got quests for us there and go through them. Vivek's back that way. Interesting. There's nothing up there. Kind of want to know what is up there. Oh, this is a person who's after something. I remember this. Is there a auto heal out of combat? No. Begging your pardon, have you seen a bandit nearby? I must find him. Bandit nearby? Yes, I was just walking along here, minding my own business. Suddenly a bandit jumped at me from behind. He was a dark elf, a strong, dashing dark elf. He didn't harm me in any way, although he did take my jewels. He was quite gentle, and he talked to me for what seemed like forever. Oh, never mind the jewels, I just wanted to find the bandit again. He was charming and funny, I must simply see him again. His name? Nellis Onmar. A name that will stay on my lips for eternity. Perhaps you can find him for me. Please, I cannot live without knowing if he could ever love me. Yeah, let's try and find him. He mentioned something about having to head north, so I imagine Pelagiad. Yeah, I thought so. And a left glove. And everyone seems to know about Solstein. Let's go and find this this bandit for her. I imagine there's going to be a lot of this in this game, just sort of going backwards and forwards. I'd say I'd edit it out, but at this stage we're still early enough where you're going to have to stick with me with it for these bits and bobs. Might get to a stage where if we're travelling long distances or anything like that, I'll start doing edits, but the whole point of this series is actually for it to be rarely, not low effort, but it's meant to be non-high effort, like the stuff I'm doing on Dishonored, which won't actually be out at the point of this video, but will be out on Saturday, I think I'm aiming for. Yeah, that's sort of like a properly, what does that even mean? A more highly strung together scripted sort of event, whereas this is more freeform. They are both different skills and they are both fun and interesting to play around with. I can't remember this dude's name. Nellis on Mar. Nellis on Mar. I think if I was a bandit returning to town with some jewels, I'd either go to the shop or I'd go to the pub. Apparently this is a good way to level up your speed. I'm not doing this. Are you Nellis? I wonder if you know who it is. No. It'd be cool to sort of like dive into conversations. I do really like the sort of the hot links in the conversations. So when you click on something and you go next, this has got to be him. Yeah, I knew it. Oh, he knows my name. When I say someone in particular, I'm looking for you, but how do I get this? Marie's glove. You have what? How odd. She was a lovely young woman, but what would she want with a rogue like me? She is beautiful, though, and seems sweet. For the first time in my life, I actually felt a little remorse for robbing someone. I should see her again. Here, take this. Tell her you have a note from Nellis. I must see her again. I won't forget this, friend. I mean, part of me doesn't want to, but it's not my place to get involved in regards to making moral choices for these people. I just sort of don't want to set someone up with someone who's a robber. But if this is their choice, then we shall let them go. Let them do it. Do you know what? This whole stamina thing is not as annoying as I remember it, but I do think the last time I played this game was probably about 10 years ago. And I think I was about 15, 16 at the time. And I like it. To be fair, I don't actually think I found it that annoying then. I've always had the patience for this sort of more difficult systems like this, or have had more patience for it than some. But I've also grown to actually like some aspect of it. I've been playing... Oh, there we go. Get that for running around lots. Been playing Escape from Tarkov, and that's like a weirdly systems-dense game that is very interested in simulation and walking around. And I don't mind it in that either. But I can understand how, especially because there isn't a culture of like... There is a culture, but the culture, the mainstream is not these sort of slower paced games. The mainstream is certainly much more faster games, or it tends to be that sort of action style thing. And obviously these are broad like topics of genre, but there is definitely a culture of people playing these types. Note from Nellos. He gave you a letter to give me. Wonderful. Thank you. So, I knew that he cared. You know, you didn't have to do all this for me, and I really appreciate it. You're clearly a wonderful person and should visit my friend Amuset Brax in Tel Harun. She's a wonderful person. I think you two would get along famously. Maybe one day. I was hoping for something a bit more material, but we'll take it. We did our kind of our good deed for the day. Part of me wants to be a bit of a consequence-sorted minded guy and go, was that good? But as I say, it's not up to me to get in the way of their agency. I'm going to stab this heather. I bet there's certain plants, once you get your eye and you just know, yes, we need to go for this, it's worth something. I keep drawing my dagger to interact with things and pressing escape to get out the menus. Let's see if this dungeon's better for us. Yeah, I suppose that's something I've not really talked about as a key difference between this and later Elder Scrolls games is later Elder Scrolls games tend to level to the character much more so. I have no idea if this is the right way to do stealth. I knew it was trapped. Oh, what's that thing? So, two things. I want to check what this trap's done. Heavy burden. So that's going to add 40 points to that. That's fine. And let's see if we can take this thing down. Does he have the ability to open doors? Okay, that's fine. Definitely should have bought some arrows in the last town. Are you a bad person? Apparently so. Okay, we are out of arrows. 4 hotkeys existed. Oh, we're not. Oh no. Oh no. Goodbye. Can we open that now, or is it just permanently? I mean, it would be a bad idea to open it now because we are in a lot of pain. So instead I will rob this crate. Which makes little sense, but yeah, that's it. Like, that's the way I like to play these games is yeah, okay. Is sort of manipulating the systems and playing the systems as efficiently as possible, but then just completely ignoring the things that are weird and don't particularly make sense, and just like creating my own narrative around them. This is us, isn't it? I need to get this like side quest over with. Can I use these rocks? Will this get him confused? I mean, this might do. I want him to go that side and then run down here. Create some space. Oh, I'm running out of stamina. I wonder if he has loads of stamina. Is this just going to be a hilarious run of like video of us both walking exhausted away from each other? Oh no, I've got stuck on a rock. Oh, he's still there. Can I play like this rock whilst I figure out which way we're going? Okay, okay. I'm going to have to just stand here and wait for stamina to recharge. The thing is, I don't mind doing this with this guy as much, because he is like actually technically much higher level than us. It's a bad game thing. Can we kill him? I don't miss old games. No, no, no. I'm just going to leave him there. I wonder if this is going to come back to haunt me, if he's just going to like appear next to me one time. Or if I walk back down here, we're going to have to pass him. Oh no. Oh, we are far too low to be having this fight. We need to take it quickly and just hope for good hits here. Okay. Getting some tension in here. We are so low on health and I have no way of healing myself. But apparently Balmora is this way, so... can I rest? No. I'm going to use these 2 arrows to try and get a bit of a drop on this rat. I mean, it did nothing, but I think the plan wasn't wrong. Okay. We want to do as much damage as possible because we are in the crap otherwise. Go on, hit. Whew, okay. I can't rest still. I wonder if that's him or if that's like an enemy, unseen enemy here. So I'm going to have to keep my stamina and sprint as and when I need to. I'm sure I could be like much better set up for than this, but this is like creating an interesting sort of partial narrative in my head. Oh, it's illegal. But that's Balmora, isn't it? You know, like taking a bad fight in a dungeon, trying to rest on the road and getting attacked by an assassin and having to run away. That's kind of fun to me. But here we go. I think the only mod I might be interested in getting... Who's that? There's someone in there, isn't there? There's a shadow there. is a view distance one, so we can sort of see way off into the future. Okay, this is somewhere that's safe, so we can't rest here, but we might be able to get something or find a bed to sleep in. Anyway, that's going to be the end of today's episode. Yeah, if you're enjoying this, subscribe and all that. I don't know which ones you're meant to ask for. You know what to do. You're on YouTube. People have told you how to do this for years now. We know how to move forward. Is there anything else to say? No, I think that was just a guard up there with a weird shadow. I don't want to speak to you at this moment in time. Yeah, come join me tomorrow for the next episode, and we'll try and actually get to Balmora without being attacked by assassins this time. Goodbye.